Well, welcome everybody to the 4th Annual Spring Jazz Brunch benefiting Gilchrist, Baltimore. You know, this was not exactly what we had originally imagined, was it, Cathy?
Not at all. Not at all. We're learning.
So
we are adaptable.
We are adapting. We had pictured probably the same beautiful Baltimore morning, but looking out across Fells Point and downtown Baltimore. But I have to say, this version has its own pleasures. We're still able to have a brunch. We're still able to enjoy a little bit of a cocktail, maybe even two, because we're not driving. But let's introduce ourselves. I'm Ann Kroom, along with my co-chair, Cathy McClellan. We're happy to welcome you here today. I guess I am first associated with Gilchrist even when I first moved to Baltimore some 30-odd years ago. We're a transplant from the South to Catonsville, Maryland. And very soon after we first moved here, I started hearing about Gilchrist and the wonderful services they provided. My good friend Cathy Boyne, past president of Gilchrist, educated me a little bit more. But Cathy, it wasn't until your brother Rick Huther recruited me to serve on the Joseph Ritchie board in Gilchrist downtown Baltimore that I really got familiar with the tremendous work that they do. So thank you for that.
Oh, anytime.
So many people know the work that we do in downtown Baltimore serves some of the neediest community at their end-of-life needs. And, you know, the COVID crisis has kind of brought to mind, I think, for everyone, you know, what we already knew, that no one should die alone, but it brought this top of mind for, I think, a lot more of us. So I've been honored to serve on this committee with you, Cathy, and look forward to a fun event.
Well, I'm very much honored to be with you, and we have to say this is the second year we've done this, so we've gotten to know each other well, and you're a pleasure to work with, as is the whole committee and the staff that's worked with us. So, yes, I've been involved with Gilchrist in one way or another since its inception, and it's quite an honor to be a part of it. So we hope that everybody enjoys today and enjoys the music that we're going to be sharing with you, because it's a special day and we need to have everybody show that we have appreciated them in what we are doing and what you all are doing. So we hope that you'll enjoy the classic catering treats that were delivered to your house and enjoy the music and the cocktail mix that we've sent. We would like to raise our glass right now to toast everybody who has participated in this event and to thank you, and just to say thank you so much for coming to our very exciting virtual event. So here's to Gilchrist, Baltimore. We'd like to also thank our committee and the people who've made this possible. Lori Anderson, Nicole Battle, Catherine Boyne, Amy Mills, Dorothy Shepard, and the wonderful staff that's worked with us, which would be Shannon Woolman and Julie. We couldn't have done it without them. They are just absolutely a great team to work with. Now it's our pleasure to introduce you to Cathy Hummel, who is president of Gilchrist.
Good morning. I'm Cathy Hummel, president of Gilchrist, and I'm excited you could join us this morning for our first ever virtual event, the Spring Jazz Brunch, to benefit the vital services we provide at the Gilchrist Center Baltimore. I hope you and your families are all safe and healthy, and that you remain that way through this horrific pandemic. While I so wish we could be together in person today, the current crisis requires us to be creative, so we decided to come to you today virtually. In the past several weeks, since Maryland saw its first COVID-19 case, so much has changed in our everyday lives and our work. Almost everything about the way Gilchrist delivers care had to transform practically overnight. But what hasn't changed is the commitment to providing platinum-level care wherever someone calls home. I believe that through this pandemic, we have demonstrated more than ever before the resiliency and commitment to excellence that continues to build our incredible reputation. It has clearly made us even stronger. Since the crisis began, our dedicated caregivers have risen to the challenge, showing up every day to compassionately care for our patients and families. They've donned and doffed their personal protective equipment, gone into homes, residential facilities, and our 3 inpatient centers, providing essential care to the most seriously ill. Thanks to our incredible volunteers who made masks, we have been able to provide masks for our patients and families, making our communities even safer. They've held patients' hands when they couldn't have visitors and connected them with their loved ones through video. Gilchrist staff has come together to create innovative ways to do work through telemedicine, video chats, phone calls, and new safety protocols. Our bereavement counselors, chaplains, and We Honor Veterans volunteers have continued their efforts virtually as well. Even our music therapists have continued providing televisits without missing a beat. Our teams have made personal sacrifices to deliver vital care to patients just as they always do, including those with COVID-19. When we decided to open a COVID unit at the Towson Center, many of our staff volunteered to work there. We are proud to have the only dedicated COVID inpatient hospice unit in Maryland. We are also very proud of our palliative care teams for working with our partner Genesis Healthcare and others in the only COVID-positive nursing homes in the state. At the Gilchrist Center Baltimore, our inpatient team is continuing to care for the most underprivileged and underserved patients at the end of life. Throughout this pandemic, this center continues to be a beacon of hope for so many. Our ability to offer this care is made possible by you, Gilchrist generous supporters, who share our belief that everyone deserves access to care, compassionate care at the end of life, regardless of background or ability to pay. You'll learn more this morning about the work of the Gilchrist Center Baltimore and its storied history, as well as our plans to build a new state-of-the-art facility at Stadium Place, former home of Memorial Stadium, which will become our new location for the center. Thanks to our amazing development team and our incredible community, in 2020, we surpassed 50% of our $15.3 million fundraising goal for the new center. We hope that with your help, 2021 will represent the other half of these costs. Plans are in place to break ground over the summer, and though there may be small delays due to current circumstances, we are confident that all of the pieces are in place to move forward with construction. We also secured a $1 million commitment from the state legislature for this special center. This is the first time Gilchrist has ever received state dollars for its work. I want to take this opportunity to thank our lead donors to the project who have enabled us to come this far, as well as a special thank you to our community partners who are helping to make the new Gilchrist Center a reality. Special thanks go to Nicole Battle and our friends at GETCO, Senator Mary Washington, and Delegate Maggie McIntosh, who have been allies and advocates for us in Annapolis this year. I want to especially thank today's event co-chairs Ann Kroom and Cathy McClellan, our wonderful event committee, our generous sponsors, and a special thank you to all of the Gilchrist staff and volunteers for your dedication to our patients, our families, and for all you do every day. We wouldn't be who we are without you. Lastly, thank you to all of you for your continued support today, tomorrow, and in the next phase of our bold new undertaking. Together, our story goes on. I look forward to being together again soon. Think groundbreaking. I wish you all continued good health and safety. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Osteen, leader of Cold Spring Jazz Quartet, and I want to welcome you to the Stay Home Jazz Brunch benefiting Gilchrist Center, Baltimore. It's a shame we can't all be together today in person, and I'm sure my bandmates would agree with me that we'd much rather be standing before you in person playing a song than connecting via the internet. I'm also sure we would agree that we'd love to see our late friend Sam Fine along with us. Sam is the one who originally arranged for us to play at this event. Let's keep Sam in our thoughts today. We wish you all good health in the coming months. Please enjoy the show, and thank you for your support.
Gilchrist Center Baltimore has become synonymous with compassionate hospice care for the city's most seriously ill. But this vital community resource was once just a vision, existing only in the minds of the All Saints Sisters of the Poor and leaders of the Mount Calvary Church in Baltimore. These missionaries felt a calling to offer the dying love, comfort, relief, and spiritual support. The Sisters of Mount Calvary Church answered this call by founding the Joseph Ritchie House in 1987. This small nonprofit hospice was established in two renovated 19th century row homes on Utah Street. It was named for Father Joseph Ritchie, who in 1872 invited the sisters from England to establish their religious community in Baltimore. Joseph Ritchie was the seventh rector of the church and was known for his ministry to the African American community. The Joseph Ritchie House became the first hospice in Baltimore and the first residential hospice in Maryland. A small, dedicated group of volunteer physicians provided safe, compassionate care to the underserved and homeless. The hospice couldn't have come at a better time. During the early AIDS epidemic, many were dying from the disease and in desperate need of care. The Joseph Ritchie House cared for them just as it cared for anyone in need, regardless of their ability to pay. This became an overriding philosophy of the organization and remains in effect today. Through the generosity of community support, no one is ever turned away. Initially serving only adults, the hospice expanded in 2011 to begin caring for terminally ill children. For the first time, children would have access to desperately needed hospice and respite care. Known as Dr. Bob's Place, the 10-bed children's unit was named for Dr. Robert Irwin, a pediatrician who was the first volunteer medical director of the Joseph Ritchie House. Dr. Bob's Place was the first of its kind in the country. Unfortunately, financial struggles took hold over the next few years. For a while, these problems proved insurmountable, but the organization soon found an opportunity that would save them. In 2014, the Joseph Ritchie House joined forces with Gilchrist. The largest hospice provider in Maryland, Gilchrist has earned a national reputation for providing comprehensive, high-quality care for the terminally ill and their families. The merger allowed the mission of Joseph Ritchie House to continue, and the organization was soon renamed Gilchrist Center Baltimore. Today, the center continues to provide hospice care to children and adults in a safe, home-like setting. A defining aspect of the center's outstanding care is its comprehensive team approach. Every patient is assigned a physician, registered nurse, clinical social worker, and hospice aide, as well as a team of volunteers and chaplains. Together, these specialists address the entire spectrum of needs, with a focus on quality of life. Patients also have access to music therapy, veteran salutes, counseling, and bereavement services, all free of charge. A new chapter for Gilchrist Center Baltimore will soon be written. This summer, Gilchrist will break ground at the former site of Memorial Stadium on East 33rd Street, continuing the legacy of the Joseph Ritchie House and Gilchrist Center Baltimore. When the Gilchrist Board of Directors determined that building a new facility was needed to maintain fiscal responsibility, an ideal location emerged. Where better than Stadium Place? A national exemplar community redevelopment of 30 acres, Stadium Place provides housing and long-term care to over 500 low to middle-income Baltimore City seniors. The addition of a hospice center in the community will create a true continuum of care in one central location. When the $15.3 million capital campaign is completed, 30,000 square feet with 22 private rooms will offer adults, children, and their families a place of peace and serenity while saying goodbye. The legacy of care on Utah Street will continue through the work of Mosaic, who provide community behavioral health services in the vacated buildings. And on East 33rd Street, new memories will be made and cherished in Gilchrist Center Baltimore's compassionate embrace.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 4th Annual Jazz Brunch, and hopefully the last annual Video Jazz Brunch. I'm delighted to welcome you to this great event. My name is Tim Doran, and I am Chairman of the Board of Gilchrist Center Baltimore, and I also chair the capital campaign for our new center to be built at Stadium Place, coming soon. It seems an eternity since we started living in this rapidly altered world, but it was really just 3 months ago that Maryland registered its first 3 cases in the state. How life has changed in so many ways. But the work of hospice never stopped. It adjusted, it adapted, it persisted, and most of all, it overcame. As you know, Gilchrist Center Baltimore, formerly known as the Joseph Ritchie Hospice, continues to provide end-of-life services to the underserved population of Baltimore City. It is the only freestanding hospice in the city and continues the great tradition of many dedicated staff and volunteers who cared for AIDS patients in the 80s at the end of life, back when they were shunned by society and at times their own families. That tradition of giving continues today in our work in our center on Utah Street, as well as in our regional pediatric hospice program that serves the entire metropolitan region also based at Utah Street. As a pediatrician, I'm optimistic about our future. We have been the champions of vaccines for the last 75 years, and I believe that we will adjust to this pandemic and, with the help of science, develop an effective vaccine in the near future. It has been uplifting for me to see the enthusiastic support for the creation of our new center in Waverly. Individuals, hospitals, foundations, and the city and state governments have supported us. The neighborhood associations surrounding Stadium Place look forward to our arrival. These are hard times for our great city, and our new building will bring jobs and improved care to Baltimore, a great step in a positive direction. In closing, we are so appreciative of your support of our efforts to bring end-of-life services to the underserved in Baltimore and look forward to your help in the future. I thank you and hope you stay well and stay safe.
Gilchrist Center Baltimore needs your support more than ever before. That's why today is so important. So thank you all for what you've done, for what either you're a sponsor or for buying tickets. We really appreciate what you've done to help our mission.
Oh, Cathy, that is so true. But you know what? There's even more you can do, because we're not just raising money for the future of this beautiful building that you saw about. These proceeds go to the day-to-day operations of the needs of the staff and patients at Gilchrist Center Baltimore during this COVID-19 crisis. They serve such a vital need in the city and provide assistance to those who need it the most at end of life. So as we say, we're grateful for your gifts so far, but please consider an additional gift. You can pledge by going directly to our website, the same site that you came to this event on. And we finally ask you, if you're inclined, to share that link with family and friends. Perhaps you know someone who has had a hospice experience, or perhaps you just know someone who's passionate about the city of Baltimore and would like to help. Either way, thank you again for being here. Thank you for your support, and cheers to you. Wash your hands and be safe.
1 and 2, 1. This life is a driving. You two drink, sit around wondering just what to think. Well, I got some consolation. I'll give it to you if I might. Well, I don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright. You know, this world is just a one big trouble spot. Well, some have many and some have not. Well, I used to be troubled, but I finally saw the light. Now I don't worry about a thing, because I know nothing's going to be alright. Play it for us, Anthony. That's right. Play it again, Sam. Well, don't waste your time trying to be a go-getter, 'cause things will get worse before they get any better. You know, there's always somebody playing with dynamite. But I don't worry about a thing, because I know nothing's going to be alright. Yeah, that's right.